Hello everyone. Guys, I hope I'm audible to all of you. All right. Can you quickly reply whether I'm audible or not? Yes, Divinka, can you reply if I'm audible? Hello everyone. All right, thank you. That's great. So, all right, guys. In the last session when we had met, right, we had done, two very good sets of data interpretation. Today again we are going to do some sets, some important sets which can be very important for your exam. So without delaying, let's quickly start the first set of the day, right? Okay, so this is where the first set is, right? It's about the table. In the last session, we had been doing the sets basically based on, passages. Now we'll be doing other representations of the sets as well, like tables, pie charts, bar graph, etc., etc. So here's a, set based on the table, right, guys? So look at the set and try to, yeah, solve with your own, right? Okay, this is a set, first of all. It has 5 questions, right? So guys, would you like to try it first? Would you like to try question number 1? Yeah, I want you to try first, okay, and then I will also explain, obviously. But I want you to try first, okay. Let me show you the table. You can take the screenshot quickly, all right, and then try to solve this question number 1. All right, guys, just take the screenshot of this set and then try to solve question number 1 first. Easy question. I'm sure you will solve that quickly as well, right?
इसमें इसमें देखिए ना, इसमें ही है। जो दूसरा वाला राउटर कनेक्ट है उसमें दिखा नहीं रहा है राउटर।
कैसे देखें?
अब मेरे को दिखाई राउटर किसे कहते हैं पता है आपको?
राउटर नहीं।
माइक के रिसीवर को राउटर कहा जाता है।
ओके, ये
हाँ, ये जो लगा हुआ है,
हाँ हाँ
ये वाइट वाला केबल इसका लगा हुआ है मैक में।
हाँ लगा है।
इसको वापस लगा निकाल के लगाइए, अब तो आ रही है शायद वॉइस।
आ रही है। ऑडियो मीटर चल रहा है, ऑडियो मिक्सर चालू करें।
नहीं, एक मिनट वापस वो वापस निकाल के लगाएगा वो तार उसका।
एक मिनट। हो गया, हो गया।
अच्छा, वो आ ही नहीं रहा है इसमें। अपने माइक में बोलिए।
हेलो हेलो।
ये आपका माइक नहीं है, जरा मुझे दिखाइए, माइक दिखाइए दोनों। दोनों सेम सेम है, अलग अलग है?
अलग है।
दिखाइए दिखाइए, तो मेरे को तो दिखाइए।
दिख रहा है, दिख नहीं रहा। ओ ये
नहीं,
पलट गया शायद। एक सेकंड निकाल दो, कैसे?
इसको राउटर में पलटिएगा ही क्या है, इसको ऊपर से दिखाइएगा। इसको बंद करके वापस चालू कर दिया, इसका वायर उसमें ही लगा दी, उसमें लगा दिया मैक में लगा हुआ है ना इसका चार्जर।
बंद।
बंद कर दिया आपने?
आगे।
अभी भी नहीं आ रहा है वो। चालू किया सर?
राउटर बंद है।
राउटर चालू करिए।
देंगे जहाँ पे इतना ही करेंगे, इसमें कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे.
हेलो 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 हेलो
Alright guys, I know there was a lot of technical, issues, but yes, we have resolved it and we are, resuming the session again. So yes, I give this question number 2, right, to solve. I hope the sound is coming. If you can quickly reply me guys whether the sound is coming or not, right? Whether my voice is coming properly or not. Everyone, can you quickly reply? All right, thank you, Ashia. Finally, let's start with these questions once again, right? So let's quickly do question number 2. The question number 2 says that marks obtained by student A in maths was how many times the percentage of marks obtained by the student F in science. All right, marks obtained by the student A in maths was how many times percentage of marks obtained by F in science. So let's first find out the percentage of marks obtained by student F in science. Okay, let's quickly find this thing first. Percentage of F in science, right? So where is F? Let's see that. This is F, all right, and in science he has got how many percentages? He has got 160 out of 200, right? So 160 out of 200 is very simple, okay? We can say 160 out of 200 is nothing but 80%, right? This is pretty simple, right guys? You can divide, by 40 and you see that this is basically 4 by 5 and 4 by 5 is 80%, right? The one more thing is there, that marks obtained by student A in maths, okay, obtained by A in maths. Let's see this as well. Obtained by A in maths are how many? Is exactly 170, all right, exactly 170. So obtained by A in maths is being how many? Is being 170. So we just have to find out that 170 is how many times this percentage, which is 80, right? The final question is that 170 is how many times 80, okay? So 170 divided by 80 should be the answer, right? We can say after dividing by 10, it should be 17 by 8, right? Then we can say this is 2 is to 1 by 8, right? And 1 by 8, guys, if you try to solve it, it will be basically 0.125. So we can say this is 2.125, which is nothing but option number D in front of us, right? And this is how we can solve this question number 2, all right? Simple question, right? Okay, so in question number 1, when I was solving, I think the voice was not very clear, so let me repeat this as well. The question is, what was the difference between the percentage of marks obtained by student B in history and the percentage of marks obtained by C in Hindi, right? So B in history, if you do this, guys, B in history is how many? See, B, total marks 150, in history 105, right? So if you try to find the percentage of this, 150 out of 150, 105 out of 150, right? If you try to calculate, it will be 70%. Why? Because 10% of 150 is 15, so 105 you can say 7 times 15, that means this must be 70%. Simple. Second, percentage of marks obtained by C in Hindi, right? So C in Hindi, let's see that C is here, and in Hindi he got 90 out of 100. So 90 out of 100 is very simple. You can say 90 out of 100 is nothing but 90 percentage, right? So this is 90%, this is 70%. We just have to find the difference of 90 and 70 in the end. That is nothing but 20, which is option number B, right? Hope guys everything is clear in these two questions, right? If anyone any doubt in these two questions, you can quickly let me know, all right? Any doubt with these two questions, guys? Just let me know about them, okay? Else we move to the next question, which is question number 3, right? Which says that what was the difference between the percentage of marks obtained by a student C in English and average percentage of marks by all the 6 students? All right. Let's understand again. What was the difference between the percentage marks obtained by C in Hindi, all right, obtained by C in English, sorry, and average percentage of the marks of all the 6 subjects, right? Average percentage of the marks of all the 6 subjects. Let's do this one by one. So we're asking about percentage of the marks obtained by C in English, right? So C in English first. Where is C? C is here. In English, guys, he has got how many marks? 150 out of 200. You can see that in English, he has got 150 out of 200, okay? Now, what is 150 out of 200 in terms of percentage? Very simple. When we calculate 150 out of 200, it must be basically 3 by 4, right? And we all know 1 by 4 is 25 percentage. So 3 by 4 has to be, 75 percentage, right guys? We can say that. This has to be first 75 percentage. Now the second term is that average percentage of the marks of all the 6 subjects. Okay, average percentage of the marks of all the 6 subjects. Of which student, by the way? Obviously of student C, right? Because this sentence is moving for student C, so they're still asking about student C in English, and average percentage of marks of all the 6 subjects, by the student C. All right. So how do we calculate this? Not very difficult, guys. We just have to see, that what is how much C is getting in, all the subjects, right? So look at this, guys. C in all the subjects are getting how many marks? All right. C is here. In history is getting 95, science 105, geography 80, English 150, Hindi 90, and maths 160. What is the sum of this? So 95 plus 105 is 200. 200 and 150 is 350. 350 and this is also, you can say, 250. So 350 and 250 is 680 more. So he got overall 680 marks, right? We're talking about C. C has got overall 680 marks. And out of how many marks? So you can add this as well. So this is 200 plus 300 is 500. 500 is 1000, right? So this is, we can say that his overall marks are 1000, means in among, of the total 1000 marks, he's getting 680 marks, right? So what is his percentage in all the subjects taken together? So he's getting 680 out of 1000. That means he's getting 68 percentage in all the marks taken of all the subjects taken together. In English, he got 75%. In all the subjects, he got 68%, and that difference is nothing but 7. And that's why the answer is option number C, which is 7, right? Okay, so this is how we solve question number 3 as well, right? Anyone any query with any question, right? You can write down in the chat. I will definitely repeat or try to make you clear if there is any doubt you have, right? Now let us move to the next question of this set, which is question number 4. It says that in how many of the given subjects did student D get marks more than 70%? All right, we just have to find in how many of the subjects student D has got the marks which is more than 70%. All right, more than 70%. Let's see that. They're talking about the student, which student? Student D, right? Okay, so guys, let's see all the subjects of student D. So in history, he got out of 150, 85 marks, right? So out of 150, sorry, he got how many marks? 85. Is if you look at 70% of all the subjects, right? You can do the things quickly with the help of that. In history, the maximum marks is 150. So 70% of 150 are how many, by the way? 70% of 150 you can say is 105, right? Let me try it with some other color, all right? Okay, we can say 70% of 150 is 105, right? We are writing 70% of the maximum marks of all the subjects, all right? In science, out of 200, 70% we can say is 140, all right? In geography, out of 150, 70% is 105. Then in English, out of 200, 70% is 140, all right? Hindi, out of 100, 70% is 70. Maths, out of 200, 70% is 140. Now we just have to see that D has got more than these marks in the respective subjects or not, right? Because these are exactly 70% of the maximum marks in individual subject. That's it. So let's do it one by one. Let's see with D in subject history, right? So 70% is 105, but he is getting how many? 85. So this is less than 70%, right? So we will cancel this for D, right? D has not got more than 70% marks in history, right? Okay, let's check for science. 70% of science is 140, but he has got 115, so this is also not correct. In geography, 70% is 105, but he has got 95, this is also not correct. In English, 70% is 140, but he has got 125, this is also not correct. In Hindi, 70% is 70, but he has got 65, which is also not correct. And in maths, 70% is 140, but he has got 135, so this is also not correct. That means D has not got more than 70% in any of the subjects, right? We can say what? The D has not got more than 70% in any of the subjects. That means answer has to be 0 or none, right? So this is how you can do this quickly, right? Students usually do what? They start calculating the percentage marks of D in all the subjects, but that is going to take a lot of time, right? So instead of doing this, you can first find 70% in all the subjects and then just compare that whether D has got more than 70% marks or not, right? This is how you can do that, is do this question with the reference of, comparing, okay? Just try to solve the question with respect to, as it is a comparing question. Do not calculate the percentage marks of D in all the subjects, because that will be very lengthy, all right? Okay, let's move ahead. Next question is question number 5. They are saying that approximately what was the average percentage of marks obtained by the 6 students in English, only in English, right? So average percentage of all the students' marks in English, all right? So let's go to the table again and look at the English marks. So guys, in English, this is the table of English. How many marks have they got, right? Let's just look that, right? Look at that. Means how many marks they have got in all, means the sum of the marks of all of them, right? So 140 plus 130 plus 150 plus 125 plus 145 plus 110, okay? So 140 plus 110 is 250, you can say that, right? This plus this, okay, let me use another color. 140 plus 110 is 250, right? 250 and 150 is 400. 400 and 130 is 530, right? We can say that. 250, 400, 530, 530, and what is the sum of this? 530 and 200 is 730, 730 and 70. 730 and 70 is 800. So all the students together has got 800 marks in English, right? Okay, so all the students together got 800 marks in English, and since we are talking about, all the students, so maximum marks for all of them together must be what? See, the maximum marks for one student is 200, and we are taking 6 students, so the maximum marks must be 200 into 6, which you can say is 1200, right? That's it. Now coming to the final calculation, so we're talking about English, so all of them together have got 800 marks in English, right? And the maximum marks in English is 200, so for 6 students this must be 6 into 200, that's it. And this, is we have to calculate with respect to the percentage, right? Means we have to find out that 800 is what percentage of 6 into 200 means 1200, right guys? This is a question. We just have to find out that 800 is what percentage of 1200, okay? Now 400 is common over here. We can say this is 2 by 3. Now 1 by 3 is 33.33, and 2 by 3 we can say is 66.66, and hence the answer is 66.66. That means the answer has to be option A, 67, all right? So this is how we can solve this set. It has 5 questions in the set, and we have solved all of those 5 questions. I hope this is clear to each one of you, right? Yes, can you just reply me if there is any doubt with any of these 5 questions? Anyone, if there any doubt, anybody with any question? Anyone who are you guys trying to solve? Yeah, Ashia has replied. What about the other students? Simran, Gautam, Aryan. Just let me know if everything is fine. Okay, I'm assuming things are clear, right? Okay, now let's move to the next set of the day, right? Guys, the next set is about, okay, it's about a particular company. Let's read it. The set is saying that table 3.4 gives a breakup of the revenue earned by Fee Stream Private Limited over a period of 5 years. Okay, let me read it again. Table 3.4 gives a breakup of the revenue earned by Fee Stream Private Limited over a period of 5 years. All figures in the table are in crores. Okay, all the figures are given in crores. This is what we have, all right. Okay, so table 3.4, if you look at this, we have the data of 5 years, 94, 95, 95, 96, 96, 97, 97, 98, and 98, 99, all right. So the revenue is given with respect to certain sectors like hardware, okay, and then we have software, then we have peripherals, training, maintenance, others, and total revenue. By the way, hardware have two types, domestic and export, and software also have two types, domestic and exports, right? And we are given the revenue, all the revenues are given in crores, right? It's as we have it. Okay, now how do we solve, how do we proceed this? Let me show you the sets, right, one by one. Let me show you the questions one by one, right? So question number 1 says that in which years the hardware exports lie between 35 to 40% of the total revenues for fee stream, right? In which years, the question says, in which years the hardware export lie between 35 to 40% of the total revenues for fee stream, okay? That's the question is. Okay, they're saying hardware exports, right? Look at this hardware export. Where is hardware export? So this is hardware and this is export, right guys? Let me use another color, right? So hardware export are these one, right? So these are given the hardware export of all the years, right? You can see that, okay? Now the question is that in which years the hardware exports lie between 35 to 40% of the total revenues for fee stream, right? Total revenues. So where are the total revenues? In the last row, okay? So we just have to check it that in how many years the revenue earned by hardware exports lie between 35 to 40%. So it should lie exactly between 35 to 40%, right? Nothing else. Okay, so how can we do that? We have to do some calculation, we can say that, right? So we have 5 years, let's do it one by one, okay? So if we have to go from first year, which is 94 to 95, right? Okay, so the total revenue in 94, 95, in fact, we should write it first. 94, 95, 95, 96, 96, 97, all right, and 97, 98, and the last one is 98, 99. So first I'm writing all the total revenue of all of them, okay, which we have 2048, 2126, okay, 2048, then 2126, all right, then we have 2500, and then we have 5048, right, and the last one we have is 4847, right, 4847. Okay, so this is what we have first of all, right? Now we have to see that in which year the hardware export lie between 35 to 40%. So let's do one thing, let's write down the hardware export revenue as well, of all the years one by one, okay? Hardware export revenues, right? So what are those? We have those as 540, 600, 540, 600, then we had 730, right? Okay, and then we had 1770, and the last one is 1827, right? 1770 and 1827, all right, fine. Now what next? Okay, so now let's do the simple maths, right? Let's calculate whether it is being in the range of 35 to 40% or not, right? So first let's calculate the year 94, 95, right? By the way, how do we do this? Just try to find out the range. See, either you can calculate that 540 is what percentage of this, but that will take a lot of time, okay? So rather than this, you can just find out the 35% of the total revenue in 94, 95 and 40% of the total revenue in 94, 95, right? So guys, what should be the 35% of this, okay? First of all, if you just try to see what is 30% is, right? Instead of 35, if you just see what is 30% is, so it's 30% is being 612, right? 612. So the only thing, guys, don't you just think that this is more than 540, right? This is obviously more than 540. Okay, if I just write 35% is, okay, even the 35% is being how much? 612. In fact, more than that, 612 plus half of 204, which is 102, right? And I'm writing approximately, obviously. So that itself is 714, which is more than 540. So how can, that means this is definitely, less than 35% of the total revenue, right? So that means this year should not be, the part of the answer, right? I'm sure you guys agree with me. This year just cannot be the part of the answer, because in this year the revenue of hardware export, which is 540, is less than 35% of the total revenue, right guys? So this is how we can do the things faster. Okay, now similarly, let's check for the next year, 95, 96, okay? So here, if you see again, guys, 30% of this is being 636, okay? Even the 30% is being how much? 636, and the 5% is being 106, okay? That sum is how much? That sum is being 700 and something, right? And this is only 600, so this is definitely less than 35 percentage, right? Definitely less than 35 percentage. So this also should not be, the part of the answer. We can just say that, right? Hope this is clear so far to all of you, right? Similarly, let's move to the next year, 2500, where the total revenue is. What should be the 35% is, guys? Even the 30% is 750, right? And then 5 more percentage will be, you can say 125, which means 875, and this is only 730, which is definitely less than 35% is. So this also, should not be the part of the answer for sure, right? Okay, let's move to the next year, all right? Next year, where the total revenue is 5048, its 10% is 504, 30% we can say is how much? 1512, right? Approximately 1512, or maybe slightly more. This time I'll be, more specific, right? So 504.8 is 10%, so 30% is 1512 plus 2.4, so 14.4, right? And 5 more percent is how many? 5% we can say is 252.4, right? 252.4, and that gives you how much? 1 second. 1770 I'm writing here, right? So 35% is being how much? It's being 1700, right? 66, okay, 66.8, right? 1766.8, and that is 1770. So this is, you can say, slightly more than 35%, right guys? Slightly more than 35%. And obviously it is going to be less than 40%, because 40% is, too large. 40% will be how much, by the way? 504 into 4 is we'll say 2016, right? 2016. So obviously this is less than 40%, right? That means this we'll say what? Revenue of hardware export is definitely between 35 to 40%, right guys? This is definitely between 35 to 40%. So we can say yes, finally 1 year is there which has satisfied, this particular condition, right? Okay, last year, let's see that in this year this condition is satisfying or not, right? So this year the total revenue is 1827, right? Sorry, total revenue is 4847, and hardware export revenue is 1827, all right? It is 1827. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Let's find 35% and 40% of, this total revenue. So 35% we can say is what? Let's see, 30% is first. So 30% is, we can say, for 10% is 484, okay? So 30% is triple of it. So we'll say, see, 10% is 484, which you can also say 500 minus 16. So 30% is 1500 minus 48, right? 1500 minus 48 is 1452, all right? Now the 5% of this is 242, okay? And that gives a sum as equal to 1694, right? 1694, right? Okay, and 40% will be obviously much larger, right? If we try to calculate, so the 40% we can say 10% into 4, right? 10% is 484, into 4 is how much? It's 500 minus 16, so 4 times must be 2000 minus 64, and 2000 minus 64 is, we can say, 1936, okay? So this is 35% and this is 40%, so 1827 is definitely between 35% and 40%, yes. So that means this year is also satisfying, the condition which we have. All right, so we have 2 years in which the condition is being satisfied, and those 2 years are 97, 98 and 98, 99. That means option A is the right answer. Okay guys, so this is how we solve this question. I hope this is clear to all. Guys, just let me know if you all understand this or not, right? If you can quickly let me know. Did you understand this question? Alright guys, I'm assuming this is clear to all. If not, you can quickly write in the chat, okay? Now guys, it has few more questions, but I want you to try those questions probably for the homework, alright? But there is one change I want to make. Just give me a minute. This is revenue from this, increase revenue from software. Revenue from software, right? So revenue from software is this, right? 26. Okay. So just make one change here. It says increases, right? It should not be increases. It should be, decreases, right? That's the only change is there. Rest is all fine. So this is one question I want, you to take a screenshot quickly, right? Question number 2, question number 3, right? Question number 3, and also the question number 4. So it has 3 more questions, right? Which I want you guys to try as a homework, right? I hope you have taken the screenshots, right? You can take it later as well, right? Okay, fine. So there are 3 questions which I want you to try at home, okay? And here I would like to end today's YouTube live as well, and again we'll be coming up very soon to do few more practice session from the same DI practice, right? DI sets. Alright guys, thank you so much. Till then, keep preparing, keep working hard. Thank you.